How's it going? So this is gonna be a bit of a rant. Okay, so why I think like girls, ladies generally, do not date League of Legends players, and that is because, like I said, League of Legends is a rotation mechanism. The high elo player is not the guy who is the best, it's the guy who played the most games, who plays the most overpowered champion, and who doesn't... Well, they have certain degree of skill, but it's not obvious. Does that make sense? And the skill manifestation is very, very strange in League of Legends, right? I'll give you an example, right? This guy is a challenger, Aatrox. Aatrox in a full game 100% counters Tryndamere, right? Yet he ended up somehow losing. Okay, so if we look at this guy, he's a top laner, so there are no excuses whatsoever. Challenger MMR. Loses. I'll give another instance of... Where was this guy? I think it was here. Yeah, there's another guy. Again. This guy's master tier, right? Loses to a guy. You have to understand, I don't play League of Legends that much, right? I play maybe like, what, 10 games per day, max, right? And that's if I don't have to do a lot of work. So I'm a casual player, right? Which is in mid-30s, so I don't have any super reflexes like kids do. Because, like, you know, up to 24, you have super reflexes because you're a child. Well, not a child, but I mean, your brain just has significantly better reflexes. I don't have that. And yet they're still losing. So imagine, let's become girls, right? We're dating a dude who is challenger, top 20. He goes into a game and he loses in silver. I've seen that happen multiple times, right? You'll be asking yourself, what the hell is going on? Right? Then he goes into a game in a one-on-one against a iron schmuck, because I'm an iron schmuck. Right? I am iron schmuck. Yeah, you see, I'm iron player. And he gets beaten. Furthermore, on stream, a lot of Twitch streamers, they stream and they annoy absolute shit out of me when they're like, oh, you know, I'm like challenger going to rank 1, right? So when somebody starts to kind of try to display how good they are, I usually want to find out how good they are. So I usually challenge them to one-on-one. And as opposed to saying, okay, let's play, right? Or they can say, well, how do I know that you're not just trolling me? I usually offer money. I say, okay, if you win, I'll give you €100 or something like this, right? It's worth their time because a lot of those guys, they are like, whatever. Like their streaming is like 200, maybe 500 viewers. So for them €100 is actually decent amounts of money. And it's gonna be like best of 3, so whatever, it's like 20 minutes of playtime. For €100, I think it's worth, right? If he is so confident that he's going to win. And most of them block me. They block me on their channel. So you see, that's very beta type of behavior. And that's why I don't think ladies would be interested in... Because think about it this way, right? Ladies look for fitness indicators, right? Like disciplined, you know, a good decision maker. What else? Hardworking, right? These are all fitness indicators. And I made a video before that. I mean, League of Legends, the top of the ladder has no, or you can say sexy, fitness indicators. Most of them are crybabies who rotate 5,000 games and they play overpowered champions, right? When you just think, I'm just thinking about some League of Legends players, and that's what you have. Now, when you go to Valorant, in Valorant there are a lot more ladies, I noticed, right? And some of them actually date guys who are very good at shooting games, right? Because I will promise you, if I go into Valorant against a... What's the ranking system in Valorant? Let me just check real quick. Valorant rankings. I think it's like Immortal or something. Let me see. Yeah, there you go, I found it. Immortal. Yeah. You see? There we have it. So you go against somebody from this bracket, right? Like from here. I promise you, I will not win. That I guarantee you, right? Because he's gonna headshot me, he probably gonna... I won't even see him, right? I'm just gonna basically die all the time. Because in here you actually have to have a skill to win. Whereas this is just... what are we doing? We're just rotating. It's just a rotation mechanism when you think about it, and that's it, right? So you have to imagine from perspective of a lady. She's like, oh, he's challenger. Other ladies are like, oh, he's challenger. And then he goes and gets beaten by an iron schmuck in a one-on-one. That's embarrassing, right? Imagine you're dating like, what is that? UFC champion. He's a UFC champion. And then in a street fight, some drunken dude from a bar who is like overweight comes in and beats the shit out of the guy. You'll be like, what? Like, what the hell is going on? And then he starts making excuses. Oh, you know, he's overweight and he punches too heavy and oh, you know, this and that. You'll be like, what? You are a world champion for fighting. Right? And this drunk ass, overweight dude from a bar beat absolute shit out of you. Alright? That's not very sexy. Okay? So that's what I'm telling you, like, because some guys think that, you know, there's some kind of fitness indicator, League of Legends, dude, no, alright? In fact, it's probably bad for you. If you wanna date, like, be sexy to ladies, I suppose, do not play League, right? Out of all games I can think of, it's probably the worst. Well, I wouldn't say the worst, but I mean, out of like the most, let's say, popular games, I'd say it's probably one of the worst when you think about it, because there is no skill expression whatsoever. Now, on surface, it appears that there is, but I mean, when you dig deep into it, you'll see that it's just like, what? Right? Because the problem in League, let's say you duo queuing with your girlfriend, you cannot guarantee that you're going to win the game. If you play Valorant, and she's in some kind of gold, and you're like Radiant, you will 100% win the game. 100%. There's no way that the enemy team can stop you. Right? But in League, it's a completely different story. So, that's what I'm saying is that. Okay? Ladies do not like to date these guys. Because there are no fitness indicators. Right? Okay, another one is bureaucrats. Bureaucrats are the same. So bureaucrats are people who sit in the company. They are, right? It used to be a long time ago, I'm talking like probably 100 years ago, where because back in the days there was pressure from companies to perform, otherwise they're going to get wiped out from the marketplace, right? In today's world, it's a little bit different because you have government bailouts, you have sponsorships, you have companies acquiring other companies who are in trouble. Like, everything is done, like, there's so much safety net that realistically there is not a lot of threat on companies to go bankrupt. I'm talking about like United States companies, like I'm talking about like European Union companies. there is too much support, right? So people who are now high up in the ladder, right, they are not good at anything except for being incredibly complacent. So senior vice presidents, they tend to be like this, right? I'm talking, tend to be old, right? They tend to be good at pretending that they are doing something important. Because like they do walk around and they do pretend that they're doing something important, right? But when you actually look what they do, they don't actually do much, right? Now, another one is they're incredibly complacent, right? They're not that ambitious. Then they are compliant, because right now, like, it used to be time where you have to be good to climb up an organization, but now you have to be in the company for long periods of time. So like you have to just sit there. It's kind of like sit to win and avoid conflicts, right? So I'll put it in here. It's like sit to win and avoid conflicts, right? So this means you're gonna be agreeing with everyone on everything. You're attending Christmas parties, you are going to staff meetings, you're going to rich company retreats, all this kind of mambo jumbo that has nothing to do with productivity is how people climb up in corporations in today's society. Note, none of those qualities have anything to do with having high performance, right? So the difference between senior vice president and, let's say, an intern, almost non-existent. The only difference is that senior vice president understands the systems of the company quite well, but after the intern spends like 1 or 2 years inside the company, they will have the same understanding of the system. So the difference between intern with 2 years of experience and senior vice president in companies in today's society, I'd say almost non-existent. The only difference is senior vice president is older and earns more money. And that's it. That's the only difference, right? So again, you see, why ladies do not like this? Again, no fitness indicators, right? Now, the only fitness indicator is money, right? But but you have to understand, that's why kind of girls, I think, right now, they are fighting for equality of pay, because anybody can do it. This model that we have, the Fortune 500 companies, this template, I call it bureaucrats, right? They just sit to win. It's sit to win. There is no like superior decision making. There is no skill. It's just sit to win. And that's it. That's why they're saying, holy shit, like we can do that as well. Right? And I agree with them. I agree with them. Because now there are no fitness indicators at all. Anybody can do it. Now in here it's the same. Anybody can do it, right? Now rich kids are the same as bureaucrats, only they're just an extremely bad version of this, because you have to understand, right? When you are driving a Ferrari, when you are giving speeches on TED Talk, when you have a successful YouTube channel, when you have a lot of followers, right? There's a certain level of, how to say it, there's a certain level of status that's being attached to this, right? So think about it, right? You probably think that person is smart, you probably think that person is hardworking, you probably think that this person is a good decision maker, you probably think that this guy is good at social skills, you probably think that this guy is very good at researching, finding opportunities. Now, most rich kids in today's society have none of those skills at all. Most rich kids is just their daddy formed the company, he's now the managing director, he is ridiculous as shit at his job, and he can't get fired, right? Company shrinks, they fire some employees. His salary keeps going up because he's the child of the founder, right? And when the woman goes out with him, she's like, what the hell is going on? Why is this guy so bad at everything, right? Why is he not hardworking, right? How is he having followers? Oh, because he spends an obscene amounts of money on ads, right? So naturally he gets to be shown on YouTube, whatever, Instagram, whatever, right? All of his Instagram photos are photoshopped, and you're like, oh my god, right? That's this guy without his daddy is not the guy I want to date when you think about it, right? So that's why I think celebrities have very high divorce rates, because when you kind of start dating a celebrity, you kind of have certain level of expectations, and when you realize that without his daddy or whatever, he won the lottery, he would be just in fact, he's even less than an average Joe, right? So you start to get very disappointed, right? So that's just my rant for today. But it started with this, right? It's just, I'm just thinking about it all the time, and I'm just thinking, right, how the hell can a challenger MMR player lose to a casual developer who is in his mid-30s? Just, it's so embarrassing. It's like a black belt karate guy comes in and gets his butt kicked by a guy who is casual karate practicer, right? It's just, or in chess, right? A grandmaster in chess should not lose the game to a guy who doesn't even play competitive. Should not happen, ever, right? But in League of Legends happens all the time. All the time. So that's what I'm telling you, right? It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your time, right? Now, play one-on-one, or if you want to actually display some form of skill, you need a different game. Because this game, I've seen the new patch updates. Again, tank items. Again, RNG dragons, right? It's becoming game for 8-year-old kids. I'm just telling you, right? New emotes, new pets, some kind of pets now in the jungle, right? I don't even play 5-on-5, so I don't really give a shit, right? But you have to understand, the target audience is getting younger and younger and younger, right? I mean, look at the new skins. Jesus Christ, I mean, what does that tell you? Right? Some kind of flowery Yasuo ninja or some shite like that. Dude, I play a rugged man with a gigantic sword, right? And most of the time I play against most of the time I play against Akali and Yasuo. That's like, and Zed. Zed is also frequently. I play against some kind of flowery ninja with cool emotes. Do you know what I mean? So you have to understand that, like, there's not a lot of skill in this game, I'll be honest with you. Right. So I'm telling you, like, if you're spending your time, just for people who think that they, gonna be impressive to the ladies because they're high elo players in League, I have some very bad news for you. Very, very, very bad news for you. I think it's completely opposite. Right? I think it's completely opposite. Now, in one-on-one, I can see how it might actually be somewhat attractive. But again, in one-on-one, there's a problem of you can only play, like, probably maybe 5 to 10 champions, and that's it. Because most of the games, you're just gonna win because you are Tryndamere and they're Ezreal or some shit like that, right? You just stomp them, right? And that's my theory for today. Now, none of that shit is researched. I cannot provide data on this. The only thing I can tell you is that divorce rates for celebrities, I did some Googling, a little bit of Googling, right? So divorce rates for celebrities is for sure higher, right? So, I can probably say that this is correct. This is correct here. Bureaucrats. Like in generally, models do not date bureaucrats when you think about it, right? But I mean, honestly, it's debatable because you see, I'd say if I'm a smart guy, I would not probably marry a model, right? Because models, they have issues with intellect, right? Let's just put it lightly, right? Because they do. Like if you take a model and you just convert her into an average looking girl, right? She will be completely useless, right? I'm talking about not being able to do anything productive as a member of a society, making contribution to society. I think they will struggle, for sure, right? Because their conversational skills usually are not very good because they are so reliant. They've been kind of throughout the whole life they required not to have any social skills because most of the time the guy is there trying to kiss up to her, or an unattractive girl is trying to stand there and trying to befriend her because she thinks she's gonna get other guys. Because sometimes you see unattractive girls, they go to attractive girls and they try to form bond with them in hope that if a group of guy approaches and one of them will go out with the unattractive girl, with the attractive girl, the rest of them might go out with an unattractive girl. I've seen that kind of strategy happen a couple of times, but I mean, I don't know. But you see, again, the attractive girl wins because she doesn't have to do anything. Her looks kind of does everything, right? But the problem with that is that once she gets older, right, then you have to have social skills, you have to have conversational skills, you have to be somewhat, have something in your brain. Because there's a good saying, they come for the, I think in like men's world, they say they come for the breasts, they stay for the brain, right? Because to have a long-term marriage with a girl, I mean, it's, on looks alone, I say impossible. I'll go as far as to say impossible. Just on looks alone, completely impossible, right? So it could be the case where even models like Amber Heard and Elon Musk, for example, right? I mean, they had a relationship, but it didn't last at all because Amber Heard, oh Jesus Christ, dude! I mean, outside of her looks, she has absolutely nothing to offer. Like most of the time, like when I see some some celebrity of the flavor of the month, most of the time I look at their interviews, right? And then see what they say, how they think, right? And yikes, okay? Yikes. I'll be honest with you, I would not want to go out with her. There is no way, right? There is no way. Like if she was to say, go on a date with Amber Heard today, right now, or play League of Legends, I'd probably pick play League of Legends, for sure. For sure. Because I would be bored out of my... I don't want to say I might get demonetized for this, right? Because like I would be completely bored on a date, for sure, 100%. And I'm at such an age where I couldn't care less what my friends think. Because some people are like, yeah, I'm gonna go out and then I'm gonna be telling my boys that I was going out with Amber Heard. Dude, I didn't give a shit about stuff like that at this stage. I couldn't care less, right? So, you see the problem, right? So, I can't really say in here, I can't really comment in here where this is like super 100% accurate, right? But this is for sure. This is for sure. I noticed there are not a lot of ladies in League of Legends. There's a lot more in, like, for example, Apex Legends. What is another one? Overwatch, I think there's a lot of ladies. Valorant has a lot of ladies. But League, like, occasionally. Okay? So that's my rant for today. Feeling better. And again, Jesus Christ, challenger player can't beat a iron schmuck. And you still want to climb. Come on, guys. Come on. Take care.